Hello, my name is Sandy. I grew up in Thailand to medical missionaries, and my tribute speech for this section is about my father. When I first started to do my research on tribute speaking, I was under the impression that you did it for people who are alive, and so they could enjoy the person speaking about them. And then it wasn't until later, after doing more research, that I realized that more commonly it's done at funerals and to in the honor of people. But so I still stuck with my dad. My dad is still living. But I was reading this verse in Ezekiel this morning in chapter 21, verse 16. It talks about exalting the humble, and my father is the most humble person that I know. I wanted to talk about him because just a background on my dad is that he came over to Thailand in 1992 with my mom and my two older brothers and my sister, who were 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 6-month-year-old. So he had 3 little kids. He came over and learned Thai, which is a difficult language to learn. Learned it in Thai and then took the boards in Thai so that he could work in hospitals here. He started working in Bangkla Baptist Hospital, and 2 years after he was in Thailand, he had me. And he worked there for 10 years, and during those 10 years, his normal day would be seeing 150 patients, outpatients, while he would have 40 or so inpatients. And along the day, he'd be doing he would do several serious surgical cases a day, and he would be on call every other day. So he would, if he wasn't on call, he would wake up at 5 or 4 in the morning to do his devotions, and he would go start work at 7, and he would come home sometimes, maybe, at dinner time to have dinner with us. But he was the best dad in the whole world. When he was home, when he would have a couple hours at home, we would play sports. He would teach us wiffle ball, football, basketball. We would play in our little yard, and we have all our Thai neighbors come over, and we try to teach them how to play these American sports. And he was very patient, very kind, taught us how to be competitive, how to be good at something. So when he was home, he dedicated his time to us and my mom. After those 10 years, those 10 very long years, we were all homeschooled by my mom in the middle of Thailand. And so after those 10 years, they switched over to a clinic where they could do more mobile clinics, where we'd go out into rural areas and we would see people, and they'd get the gospel shared with them one-on-one. And that's the whole purpose that my dad and my mom are here in Thailand, is to make Christ known here. And that's another reason why my dad is my hero and my role model, is him and my mom have given their lives to share Christ. And that's why they're here. He was very busy at the hospital. He had noble work to be done. He had long days, but when he was with his family, he raised a wonderful family. All my siblings are my favorite people. My brother is a youth pastor in America. My other brother is going to serve overseas for 2 years, and my sister is graduating. She's gonna go be a missionary overseas. But my dad's, how he raised us and how he disciplined us and how he lived in Thailand, still is living in Thailand, serving as a medical doctor with the intention of bringing anybody he sees to know about the Lord and to give them the opportunity to know who God is. The work that he's done over the past 22 years has started worship in places that have never had worship in before in the history of the world. He started Bible studies. He led people to Christ in places that have never heard about the gospel before. He saved many lives, spiritually and physically, through the hospital and the clinic. And he has raised a wonderful family. You could ask any of my siblings, anyone who knows him, there should be more people like my dad in the world. Yes, so my father is the person I would write many tribute speeches about. I wish my speech would be better than this, but this is what I have. Yes.